this place, and I was thinking, what can I possibly say? And I wanted to start by telling you about Anas. Anas was a beautiful 13-year-old boy. He suffered severe burns to his face, to his trunk, and to over 60% of his body, along with his mother, when their house was bombed by the Israelis. He was a patient of mine in the burns unit at Shifa Hospital for over 12 days. After several surgeries, this beautiful boy died. Anas, like 10,000 other beautiful boys and girls, have had their lives taken. We are here first and foremost to honor them and to remember each one of them, and to make sure that this carnage and this death ends. If the world is comfortable with the death of Anas and many children like him, then this is no longer a world that we are able to raise our children in and live in ourselves. Yesterday, 400 Palestinian prisoners were released back into Gaza, having been interned by the Israelis. One of the things that they have reported is that Israeli forces have been torturing the 40 doctors that they have held, more than any other group within the people that they've imprisoned. This targeting of health professionals as part of a systematic and intentional policy to completely destroy all aspects of health in Gaza as a way of making it uninhabitable, so that the ethnic cleansing and the expulsion of Palestinians continues. This Nakba Part 2, as one of the Israeli politicians described it, hinges on the destruction of health systems. It hinges on the fact that the 57,000 wounded will be left to die of their wounds. All of this has to be stopped. This genocidal state and its enablers within Western governments have to be forced into ceasing the murder. Last night, just in the last 24 hours, over 150 people have been killed. This is Israel's real response to the International Court of Justice. It wants to speed up its genocide so that by the time it finally has to stop, there was no one left. I will not take too long, and I will want you to go home today, hug your children, and remember Anas. Thank you.
Please thank Hassan. We are very lucky to be joined by our next speaker, who is not often in Britain, an outstanding Palestinian writer, whose words you may know, whose face you may recognize. Please welcome Mohammed Al-Kurd.
Hello everyone. It's an honor to see all of you. It's an honor to be here. The atrocities that the Israeli regime is committing in Gaza are some of the most horrific, brutal tragedies of all of our lifetimes. But this genocide is not without a culprit. Zionism is the root cause of all that is happening in Palestine. This is a moment for transformation. There have been 30,000 martyrs. This is our moment to transform the world. We must reject Zionism in all of our institutions. Because to be anti-racist is to be anti-Zionist. It does not contain multitude. It does not have double meanings. It is not romantic. Zionism is apartheid. It's genocide. It's murder. It's a racist ideology rooted in settler expansion and racial domination, and we must root it out of the word. We must de-Zionize because Zionism is a death cult. Zionism is indefensible. I want you all to continue marching in the street even as South Africa courageously and momentously takes Israel to the ICJ. We must not stop marching. Not now, not tomorrow, not until Palestine is free. I want to leave you with a few words from a group called Gaza Group. They write, "Today we declare unequivocally to stand on the right side of history. You must engage with tangible actions, not mere words. Fortitude, not despair. Strength, not fear. Language alone no longer suffices. Our safeguard against annihilation hinges on exhausting every effort to halt the massacre. Until there is nothing more within your capability to do, look intently into the eyes of the children of Gaza and convey this message to them. I dare you to look into the eyes of a Gazan child and tell him that you tried your best. Our day will come, but we must not be complacent. Our day will come, but we must normalize massacres as the status quo." Thank you.
Once again, give it up for Mohammed Al-Kurd. Our next speakers are here representing the Jewish bloc on today's demonstration. A group of British Jews organising in their community for an end to the occupation. So please give a warm welcome to Avia Sarah Day, Max Gerber and Richard Cooper.
I am here because as a Jew, I am against genocide and ethnic cleansing to my core. As long as there has existed Zionism, there have been anti-Zionist Jews. We have always been here, and we will continue to be here. We belong here alongside our Muslim siblings, and alongside all those who stand up for justice against the occupation. I am here grieving the murder of 30,000 Palestinians in cold blood. In 2019, I worked in Gaza City as a coding instructor. I am here fighting for the dreams of my students who are running for their lives from Israeli brutality. This is not a hate march. We are being lied to, and our fear has been weaponized. Standing here today, I feel courage. I feel the hope that we generate every time that we march. And I believe that we will win.
My name is Avia, and I'm here as a member of the Black Jewish Alliance and from the Jewish bloc. I have to be honest, there have been points over the last 3 months where I've wondered whether I will see a free Palestine in my lifetime. And in those moments, I try to remember my ancestors. I try to remember my ancestors, kidnapped from the shores of Africa, who survived the transatlantic slave trade. I try to remember my great-grandmother Lenny, who survived Nazi Germany, where both her parents and 6 of her siblings were murdered. I remember them because without their resilience and without their resistance, I would not be standing here today. I remember my ancestors and I honour them here today, joining this movement as a proud anti-Zionist black Jew. To say never again. And never again means never again means rejecting the divide and rule tactics of imperialism, which seeks to elevate one oppressed group at the expense of another. Never again means recognizing that our strongest weapon is our solidarity. And that is exactly what we've been building on these marches, week after week, month after month, is solidarity. This movement is a working class movement. It's an intergenerational movement. It's a multiracial movement. And we will keep building and growing until Palestine is free and until all of us are free.
Richard Cooper, Jewish Voice for Labour, Jews for Justice for Palestinians, and the Jewish Bloc. Proud to be here. Proud to be standing with you and saying this war on Gaza is not in our name. Anti-Semitism is a scourge. It's a form of racism, and we are all opposed to it. And any manifestations of it need to be opposed vigorously by the solidarity movement. There is some anti-Semitism today, but when you look at what is being classified as anti-Semitism, it includes us. It includes the solidarity movement. It includes criticism of Israel. It includes anti-Zionism. It includes calling for an end to the war on Gaza. That is not anti-Semitism. It is cynical manipulation. So too with the Holocaust. The lesson of the Holocaust that we draw was never again to anyone. Israel is perpetrating something that looks remarkably like a genocide in Gaza. I take my hat off to the South African government and its presentation at the International Court of Justice. They were given short shrift in reporting by the British media, and I would urge every one of you to look at the videos of the South African testimony to the International Court. It is devastating. I want to say about the Jewish communal leaders who stand foursquare with Israel. The chief rabbi who said a few days ago that he supported our heroic soldiers, our soldiers, the Israelis fighting in Gaza. They are not my soldiers. Communal institutions who claim that all Jews support Israel are playing a dangerous game. They are aligning Jews with Zionism. They are making every one of us responsible for Israel's crimes. We are not, and we oppose them and Israel vigorously in its genocidal actions in Gaza. Finally, I would like to say, or to read quickly, a poem which you've heard before by Khalid Juma, O Rascal Children of Gaza. It expresses the humanity we feel when we witness the slaughter of ordinary civilians in the name, says Israel, of preventing a genocide. It is double speak of the most appalling kind, and Khalid Juma captures the humanity that we need to reach into ourselves to find. He writes, "O rascal children of Gaza, you who constantly disturb me with your screams under my window, you who filled every morning with rush and chaos, you who broke my vase and stole the lonely flower on my balcony. Come back and scream as you want and break all the vases, steal all the flowers. Come back, just come back. Free, free Palestine. CeaseFire now! CeaseFire now! CeaseFire now! Thank you very much.
Give it up for the Jewish bloc! What do we want? Ceasefire! What do we want? Ceasefire! And when do we want it? Now! What do we want? Ceasefire! And when do we want it? Now! Our next speaker is from a trade union that stands with the Palestinians, representing 500,000 education workers and Europe's largest education union. Please welcome General Secretary Daniel Kennedy.